Hey YouTube, I am getting ready to make a new batch of, this is my wound and especially burn salve that I make for our family with herbs from the garden, and I am always amazed at how well everything heals when I have this under a bandage instead of just a bandage. And I'm always cutting myself or burning myself. In fact, I have a burn that's just healed up right here from recently. You don't need to grow all of these herbs in the garden. You could probably do this with dry herbs, but I try to use fresh as much as I can. If you have room in your garden, highly recommend planting some of these medicinal herbs for yourself. So I thought I would walk you through how easy this is to make for your home medicine cabinet if you love herbal remedies. It's not a replacement for antibiotics or doctors or any of that. Not a doctor, not medical advice, but it always seems to help, and I love having this on hand. Let's check it out. I'm going to be using fresh herbs from the garden, some dried herbs. I'll show you what I've got here. I just went out and picked, this is arnica, just the flowers that are blooming. You pick them after the dew is off them in the late mid-morning. I've got some plantain leaves here. You can use dried if you want, but I like to use fresh. We've got some fresh comfrey leaves here. We've got dried burdock root, dried self-heal blooms, and some dried calendula because I don't have any fresh blooming right now. And we're going to be using organic olive oil. And since I don't have a crock pot, I will show you, I'm just going to set this in a windowsill to steep in the sun. So basically like a sun-steeped infused oil that we are going to then combine with beeswax to make a really nice salve. And this stuff works better than anything I have ever tried. If you ever get a burn like I just did, I won't show you, but this stuff, if you put it under a band-aid, you'll be amazed at how this really does help. I feel like this really helps the healing process if you have burns or cuts and scrapes around the house. I'm gonna just cut the fresh herbs up with a knife, and what I like to work with is by weight. So what I'm gonna be working with is basically I want if I had 2 ounces total of comfrey leaf, I want 1 ounce total of everything else. So 2 to 1, but it's 2 comfrey to 1 part combined of all of these other things. So really it's mostly comfrey going in this. So, and there's no particular, method to it. I'm just gonna chop it. And these are nice and dry. They're fresh, but they're dry, if that makes sense. So if you want to rinse them off, then give them time to really dry because you don't want any water going in with this olive oil. If it has water in it when it goes in the oil, you will end up with spoilage being more prone to happening. So chopping that, and we're going to chop the plantain also. And I found this plantain grows wild here. There's a wide leaf, there's a broad leaf, and a narrow leaf, and this is narrow leaf variety because it's what I found out there. So a little bit of that. I'm not going to chop the arnica because it's just flowers. I may, I may whiz that through the food processor just to make it smaller. So I think I'll do that real quick. Oh, that smells so good. You can just see it. It just broke it up enough where it's a little bit more fine. Let's grab the kitchen scale and I'll weigh all of these things out. So what I'm going to do first is weigh how much comfrey do we have, because that kind of is going to give me an idea of how much of the other herbs I need. I have, oh good, I have almost exactly 2 ounces. So we've got 2 ounces of that, which means we need 1 ounce total of combined of all of these other things. So we're going to add plantain. There is a little of that. Some dried self-heal. That gets us up to about 1/2 ounce, since dried herbs weigh almost nothing. And then some of the fresh arnica. And arnica is not really for healing, but it is good for pain. So we're going to put in a good amount of that. And it's not an exact science, like you don't have to get, I'm going to go over 1 ounce probably with this, but that's fine. And we're going to put in some dried calendula. And that puts us right up to just over 1 ounce. Dried burdock root is heavy, so we're going to just go ahead and add that. And that puts us at about almost 1.5 ounces, which isn't too bad. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the fresh plantain just because it's here. And that puts us right at 1.5 ounces of the dried herbs to 2 ounces of fresh comfrey. And I'm just going to put the fresh comfrey in a glass measuring cup. And look how pretty that blend looks. And we're gonna just go ahead and add that and give it a mix. And at this point, you can even put this whole mix in the bigger food processor, which I might do, just to have a more finely cut blend with the oil going on it. So let's do that real quick. Look how pretty that is. Oh, gorgeous. You should smell how nice that smells. So we're gonna get that back in the bowl. And that has given us almost just a slight amount under, just under 4 cups. You can't see because my markings are worn off this poor old measuring bowl. But that's about 4 cups of fresh and dried herbs together. So we're going to divide this between 2 glass canning jars, so probably almost 2 cups of this mix in each. And I'm just using a canning funnel. And we're going to see how much we can get in each of these canning jars. And I don't want to pack this in there. I want it to be like, you know, settled but not packed. And it divided nicely between 2 pint jars. The next thing I'm going to do is we're just going to cover them both with organic olive oil and just kind of let that go all down through the herbs and, you know, let it kind of soak down through. And what I want to see here is all of the herbs submerged under the oil. Just about like that. That looks really, really good. And what I like to do is just take a butter knife and kind of give them a stir. Make sure you get any air bubbles out that might be down in the oil so that the material and the herbs are all nicely saturated with the oil. And I might just add a little bit more just to make sure we're really covered like that. And I'll probably write today's date, which today is June 10th. If you had a crock pot or even a yogurt maker, you could keep these at about 110 degrees, which would be ideal, for about a week at a steady temp. Since I don't, it's a little bit riskier to do it in a windowsill, but it's not impossible. So I am going to do that. And these are going to go in a sunny windowsill for a week or 2, and I'm going to come back and give them a shake probably every day just to make sure the herbs move around in the oil. Okay, it has been 2 weeks. These have been sitting in a sunny window for that whole time. The fun part is going to be now where we get to press this, and you don't have to have a special press. I'll show you the one I have here. I'm sure I got it on Amazon. If I did, the link will be down below. The only other tools you're going to need, you could actually press this with, I'm going to use cheesecloth, but you could press it through a sieve with cheesecloth as well. I'm going to do double layer of cheesecloth. We are going to need an ounce of beeswax. We have bees, so I have our own beeswax, so all organic. And we're going to do an ounce of beeswax for every 3/4 of a cup of this oil that I end up pressing. So we'll see how much oil we end up with. We're going to use a measuring cup, of course, because we need to know how much oil. And then we're going to heat the whole thing in a saucepan with the wax so we can melt the wax down, and then that's where you're going to cool it and it turns into a salve. It's that easy. Let me show you this cool press though. So if you don't have a press, I can think of a lot of uses for this that around a homestead it would be lovely, but I really only use it for this. So what this is, it's small. I mean, it's easy to store because it's not very big, and it's just a simple, and I guess you could do cheese in it. I don't, but it's got a little double set of pans. So you've got an interior straining pan, and we're going to line that with cheesecloth, and then the pressed material comes out through the tube here. And I think, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure this actually came with like a straining bag that fits particularly over this specifically. I found the hard way that that is not the best thing to use to strain oils. I would go ahead and still use cheesecloth if you're doing oil and herbs so that you don't end up ruining that bag that came with it. If you're doing juices or tinctures or things, that's easier, but oil in a fabric bag, just use this so you can throw it away when you're done. Just so you have something that's lining that to hold the herb material in. And then that can go inside the pot. And then we just need to pour our herb oil in here. And this, you want to make sure when you're pouring the oil into this that you have this press already set. So this isn't going to be pouring oil just right out onto your counter. I've done that too. So learn from my mistakes. So I'm just going to put a little plate right under that drain spout just in case anything comes out before we're ready. Okay, so we're just gonna basically dump all of that in. This one also smells amazing. Look how nice that looks. And same thing, we're just gonna Dump that right in on top of it. And you need to work fast because it's already starting to come out. So what you're going to do is just start pressing, and you can see it really start to press that oil out and into the measuring cup. And I have to say, I do definitely recommend the press for this, because you could press this with just a wooden spoon through a sieve, but you get so much more pressure when you're able to turn this pressure with an actual press. I'm going to let that continue to drain for a little bit until this level of this oil goes down in here and it stops coming out pretty fast here. And the goal is to get as much, obviously, of this beautiful oil out of this pot and into the batch. And this made 2 1/3 cups of gorgeous dark green oil. Look how beautiful that looks. So I just did the math, and I'm going to be using, since I'm using about an ounce for every 3/4 of a cup, I'm going to use 3 ounces of wax just to make it an even number. And we're going to put all of this in a saucepan on the stove. So I'm going to start the beeswax melting first, and then we're going to add the oil, because I don't want the oil to get really too warm, because we don't want to damage any of the herbal properties that are in that lovely oil. And you can put this in any kind of container. I have used tins, which are nice for gifts because you can put a little label on it and you can put, what's in it. You can put it in glass, like I have it in a little canning jar with a lid, and you want to make sure you store this in a cool, dark place, especially if it's in glass or if it's in clear glass. If you have amber glass or a dark green glass, that'd be better. But I always keep it in a cabinet away from direct light and keep it cool and dry and out of direct sunlight. That has already beautifully melted over low heat. So I'm going to just let it cool down a little bit, even just take it off the heat. I don't want to have this oil get hot. And we're going to go ahead and add that right to it. And then we need to warm that up just a little bit, because it's the cold oil hitting the warm wax is making the wax set up. So I'm just going to stir that, and I just want to stir it until this wax just melts. I don't want it any more than it has to be as far as warmed up. So as soon as that looks like it's melted into the liquid again, that is going to make a gorgeous salve. Look at that color. There it is, almost all the way melted in, which is great. We can turn off the heat and take this off the heat, and we're going to pour it right into containers. Okay, and you can see it's already cooling down in the container, so we want to just carefully pour this really close to the top, because it's going to settle in the middle a little bit as it cools. And I don't know how much these little containers hold. They might be 1 ounce, they might be 2 ounce, I don't know. We'll deal with these in a minute. So these, I'm going to just let these sit until they're entirely cool. You can see them already starting to cool where they've touched the glass. That is going to make a gorgeous, gorgeous product. And there it is. They're done. They're going to be cooled off and ready to put lids on and be given away as gifts here soon. And the one that I keep will go in our little apothecary medicine cabinet for my future burns and cuts, which I'm sure I will have many more of to come. I hope you decide to try this. If you have the herbs, you can probably try it with dried herbs. If you do, let me know how it turned out. I've used partial dry and partial fresh for this. I've never done it with all dry. So if you have done that, chime in the comments and let me know. I'd love to know how that works, because not everybody grows fresh herbs right outside in their garden, but you should. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.